Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today for our Monday Healing Steps Facebook Live inside the Bridge to Healing community. And if you're new or tuning in for the first time, I'm Janine Naus, your grief and trauma relief specialist, and I combine my personal experience and professional knowledge to support trauma survivors in reclaiming peace, clarity, and emotional stability. And if you're watching the replay, go ahead and drop a pound replay in the comments. And if you're here with me live, say hello and type pound live. I love to know where you're joining me from today. So, today we're going to be exploring a topic that touches all of us at some point in our healing journey: letting what is lead the way, finding peace in the present moment. So, if you're anything like me or the many survivors I've worked with, you know how hard it can be to just be with what's happening. And so many of us, especially those who have experienced trauma, try to change, fix, or fight what we're feeling. We strategize and we may overthink, or we may brace ourselves for what could go wrong because once upon a time we had to. But there comes a point in healing where peace isn't found through more control, it's found through surrender. And not surrender as in giving up, but surrender as in letting go of the battle against what's already here. It's about choosing trust over tension, breath over bracing, curiosity over control. So let's gently explore why that is, what gets in our way, and how we can begin to shift toward a grounded sense of safety and trust in the present moment, no matter what's unfolding around us. Now, let's take a look at why we try to control the outcome. And we're going to go ahead and begin here. So, when we've experienced trauma, often it becomes a survival strategy. And it's the brain and body's way of trying to create order after chaos. Trying to control what happens next gives us a sense of power in a world that once felt wildly unpredictable and unsafe. It's a deeply human and deeply compassionate instinct. Now, if you've ever blamed yourself for being controlling or rigid, I want you to know it was never about being difficult. It was about trying to protect yourself. But here's the hard truth. See, control, while it may offer a temporary sense of relief, often keeps us trapped. It can lead us to believe that if we aren't managing every detail, anticipating every outcome, something terrible will happen. And in doing so, we unintentionally resist the present moment. And we treat it not as something to experience, but as something to fix or manipulate or even escape from. So the truth is, there is no guaranteed safety in the future. Safety can only be felt right now, in this breath, in this moment. It's not found by gripping tighter, it's found by softening into what already is. And I know that can feel terrifying at first, and it can feel like letting go of control means letting go of protection. But here's the deeper truth: the safety you're longing for isn't in controlling outcomes, it's in trusting your ability to meet yourself with compassion, whatever the outcome may be. So before we move forward, I want to give you a moment to reflect. Now, this isn't about judging yourself, it's about noticing with compassion where old patterns might still be pulling you away from peace. So here's your reflection prompt. Can you think of a time when trying to control an outcome actually created more stress, not less? Maybe it was in a relationship, a decision, or a major life event. Just take a moment. And if you want to, you can write it down and revisit it later. So here it is again. Can you think of a time when trying to control an outcome actually created more stress, not less? If this brings something up for you, just know you're not alone. If you feel comfortable, drop a yes in the comments or share a word that captures how it felt for you. Now take a deep breath here because you're doing beautifully. Now let's move deeper into what gets in the way of letting go and how to shift that gently with love. So let's take a look at what gets in the way of letting go. Now that we've uncovered why we instinctively reach for control after trauma, let's look at what makes letting go feel so hard, even when part of us wants to. And at the heart of it, letting go often feels like stepping into the unknown. And for trauma survivors, the unknown hasn't always felt safe. And sometimes the unknown was where the worst pain happened. So it's completely understandable that your body and mind would resist it, even if now, today, you're in a very different place. Here's what often gets in the way. And if any of this sounds familiar, know that you are not alone. You might carry a deep protective fear of being blindsided again. That gut level fear that if you let your guard down, something could hurt you without warning. Or your body remembers what it was like to be caught off guard. Now, of course, it's cautious. Of course, it wants to stay alert. And you might also feel that control is your only shield, that if you stop managing every detail, you'll be powerless all over again. So it's important to honor that instinct because at one time, control may have truly kept you safe. Or maybe you learn that if you just worry enough, prepare enough, anticipate enough, you can stop bad things from happening. Now, it's exhausting, but it can feel safer than trusting the unknown. And if you see yourself in any of these, please know you are not broken. You're not failing at healing. You adapted to survive. You did what you had to do. And now, with tenderness and time, you can begin practicing something new. Letting what is simply be without needing to brace against it or outthink it. It's not about giving up. It's about gently making room for peace to enter where fear once lived. But here's the hard truth, but freeing truth. Vigilance isn't the same as safety, and exhaustion isn't a requirement for healing. Real safety is built in moments of connection with yourself. See, moments where you can say, I don't know what's coming, but I know I will meet myself with care no matter what. And every time you choose that, even in tiny ways, you begin teaching your nervous system that it's okay to soften, that you are not in the danger you once faced, that you are your own safe place now. I have a reflection question I want to share with you. What is one small thing you could gently loosen your grip on today? Not the biggest thing, not the scariest thing, but one small place where you can practice trust instead of tension. And feel free to share in the comments or simply hold it in your heart for now. So let's breathe together for a moment. And you're doing powerful work just by being present here. Now let's shift into a small practice you can use anytime you feel yourself tightening up or bracing against the moment. So if you recognize yourself in any of those patterns, I invite you to pause and take a breath. There's nothing wrong with you. There's only the beautiful, brave part of you that learned how to survive. And now you're learning something new. How to trust the moment you're in. How to soften into your own strength. So let's talk about how we can begin that shift gently and with love. And remember, small shifts create big change over time. You don't have to force healing. You just have to be willing to meet yourself where you are, moment by moment. Now that we've explored why letting go feels so hard, I want to offer you something real and tangible, something you can start practicing right away. Not to fix yourself, not to rush yourself, but to offer yourself a new experience of safety, one breath at a time. Because trust isn't something you force, it's something you gently build, moment by moment, choice by choice. So here's a simple but powerful practice you can try whenever you feel yourself tightening, bracing, or trying to control what's ahead. Now, before we dive into the practice, I invite you to take a slow, steady breath with me. You don't have to do it perfectly. You don't have to do anything perfectly. Just let this be a soft place to land for a few moments. So let's begin together. Now, the first step is to pause and notice. And when you catch yourself gripping tightly to an outcome or spiraling into what ifs, gently take a breath. You don't need to change anything, just simply notice. You might tell yourself, I'm trying to control this because deep down I feel unsafe. And then remind yourself, it's okay that I feel this way. The simple act of noticing without judgment already begins to soften the grip. Next, ground yourself in the now. Bring your attention to something real and neutral in this very moment. Maybe it's the solidness of your feet pressing into the ground, the steady sound of your own breath, or the warmth of your hand against your chest. Let these simple sensations remind you, I am here, I am breathing, I am okay right now. And then finally affirm your safety. Offer yourself a quiet message of reassurance. So you might say something like this, in this moment, I am safe enough. Or, I don't have to control everything to be okay. Or simply, I can let what is be enough for me for now. It's not about forcing belief, it's about planting seeds of trust and kindness within yourself. Each small practice is a powerful act of healing. And with every breath, you are reminding yourself that peace is possible. So let's take a few moments to really integrate this practice with a reflection invitation. Even if it feels awkward at first, you are creating new neural pathways, new ways of relating to life that don't require bracing against it. And every time you practice, no matter how small, you strengthen your ability to stay present with less fear and more trust. It's not about doing it perfectly, it's about making small agreements with yourself to return, to soften, to breathe again. And if you find yourself tightening up 5 minutes later, that's okay. You just gently begin again. It's not about forcing trust. It's about gently inviting yourself to believe that right here, right now, you are safe enough to take one breath, one step, one moment at a time. You're already doing more than you realize by showing up for yourself today. So let's slow down together for a moment. When life feels out of control, what is one small truth you can come back to? Maybe it's a simple breath. Maybe it's whispering to yourself, I'm safe right now. Maybe it's placing a hand over your heart and feeling your own steady presence. There's no right or wrong answer, just something real, something tender, something you can return to when the world feels too big. And it feels good, if it feels good, write it down now, or simply let it rest quietly inside you, ready when you need it. You're already doing the work just by pausing here. You've just planted a seed, a new way of being with yourself, not by demanding change, but by allowing it to unfold. And that's the heart of healing. It's not about forcing yourself into peace. It's about creating enough safety inside that peace that has a place to land. You're already doing something courageous by being here, by choosing to show up for yourself in this way. And healing isn't about forcing the world to feel safe. It's about learning to feel safer inside yourself, one breath, one moment, one step at a time. And that's something worth honoring. So let's carry that softness with us as we move into our closing thoughts together. And if today's session resonated with you, and if you're feeling ready to take one more gentle step toward trust and healing, I'd love to continue this journey with you. You're invited to join me inside the Bridge to Healing community on Facebook, where we gather each week for sessions like this. And if you're longing for a little more personalized support, I warmly invite you to book a healing connection, a no-fee clarity call with me. And it's a safe, supportive 30-minute conversation where you can share what's on your heart, and we'll explore one small but powerful step forward together. You don't have to navigate this alone. You are already doing the courageous work of showing up for yourself. And I'm so honored to walk with you. The smallest shifts in how you hold yourself today can open the biggest doorways tomorrow. I'll see you soon for our next healing step session. Till then, be gentle with yourself. You are worthy of trust, grace, and peace. Thank you.